everybody. My name is Paul, W1VLF. And thanks for coming back to the lab and the Group W bench. This week I wanted to, actually I got a couple of videos. This one I'll put out today, and tomorrow I have another video if I have enough time. But this one is on, believe it or not, selective fading. Now, how many people know what selective fading is, right? Everybody's heard it, maybe not the term, but you're listening to an AM station or a shortwave station, propagation changes, and the relationship between the upper and lower sideband and the carrier changes. The carrier drops out and you hear all that distortion. Rah, 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 and then a few seconds later it comes back again and everything is fine. So I have this local radio station, WSNG. It's out right out in back of the camera there. It's a mile away from me. I did some videos on it about how much power I can extract from their carrier. But there are a couple of spots where in their antenna pattern, they have 3 towers. I'll try to get a picture of that. They have 3 antenna towers to form a pattern. And with any type of beam forming, you usually have side lobes and some very, very sharp notches. So what, hang on a second. This is top secret. You guys can't see this. That's for later. So you have you've seen beam patterns, right? You have the main lobe and then a side lobe and maybe a back lobe. Well, there's some very sharp notches. So if you drive into one of those notches, and most of the time I'm about a mile, maybe a little bit more than a mile away from a 1,000 watt transmitter, and the signal will drop right to the noise, and what you'll hear is selective fading. The beam forming is so accurate that the carrier's notched out, but not the sideband information, at least not to the same degree. And so what happens in normal shortwave propagation is the band will sustain a propagation over a certain frequency, and you'll see it dip up and down. And if the carrier dips out, then you're going to have just the sidebands, and a standard diode detector or AM detector can't deal with that. The synchronous detectors do, and they have no problem. Which brings up to a good point. I should have brought the laptop and the sync detector in one of my SDRs to see what was going on. If I could switch that out and get it to the audio to come back to normal. A couple things we're going to be looking at. I went to 3 locations, and let me just say right now, please forgive the camera work on this video, because it's pretty bad. I was in the car and trying to drive, and I didn't realize what setting I had the camera on. But you're going to clearly hear a station that's a mile away, less in some cases, go into selective fade and just sit there in selective fade because the carrier is notched out. I'll move 100 feet, 200 feet, and the carrier will come right back up again, and the reception will be just as good as it would be anywhere else. So a couple other things here. We're going to go to 2 sites: Radio Locator, and we'll type in 610 WSNG, and that will show us roughly a pattern of the antenna and what it looks like, and an approximate area as to where I should look. And then there's a site, N8FM. Man, if you want to look at antenna patterns, you should go there, and I'll direct you to that site when we go over to the computer and look. And now what we can do is overlay the satellite view of where the streets are, and I can show you the exact points that I'm sitting in out there in the car, and exactly, and you can look at the notch. Let's say there's the main lobe going out this way, and here's a side lobe, and so this notch extends out practically to infinity, and I'm parked right here a mile away, and it's really quite amazing. The antenna pattern is very, very sharp. Now, sitting on the sides of the road in your houses like that, you get a few looks, but so I didn't spend a whole bunch of time there. But I just thought you guys might be interested in this. I drive this road home every day for the last over the last 20 years, many times, And there's this spot where this happens in the middle of the day. And I did this around 11 o'clock this morning. So let's see. I think I covered everything on here. So we're going to go over to the computer. We're going to listen to some of those clips, some examples. Then I'll show you where each one of them was. But before I go over to the computer, I just want to say two things. One is a word from our sponsor. And today's sponsor is my granddaughter, Charlotte, working here in the shop on the Group W bench.
Everybody, I'm working in Grandma's shop. Subscribe to Grandma's channel. Grandma needs a pair of new shoes.
What a cutie. So the other thing I wanted to say is I started up one of these, what is it called? Buy me a coffee. It's obvious I like coffee, and I drink a lot of it. So if you get a chance, check out this video, check out some of the other ones. If you think it's worthwhile, then buy me a coffee. If not, don't buy me a coffee. Anyway, all right. So let's go over to the computer there and take a look at some of these locations, and then we'll go back and forth between Radio Locator and by the way, NAFM did an incredible amount of work. I don't know if I said that or not. These maps are absolutely fabulous. So take a look at him. Take a look at that site. You'll see it here in a second. Let's go over to the computer. Okay, guys, I'm back. It seems that the word has gotten out that Charlotte was going to be in this video. I know I promised you guys we'd be over at the computer, and we will in a minute, but my grandson, my second grandson, Luca, wasn't happy when he found out that Charlotte was in the video and he wasn't. So he has something to say. He's about 8 months old now, and he's got an opinion. Anyway, I'll send you over there. By the way, I just thought I'd let you know, in that last year they went by, I have acquired. That's not a good word, is it? Acquired. I have been graced with 5 grandchildren. Charlotte, Benny, Luca, Lincoln, Mikey. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's let Luca say his piece, and then we can get on with the video. Here you go, Luca. Well, I guess Luca has made it pretty clear where he stands on that. I don't think I'll be forgetting him in any of the videos coming up. So your point well taken. So anyway, we're here looking at Google Earth, and I couldn't really get a good picture of the radio station. But if you take a look at this WSNG, here's 3 towers here, guide towers. It's a 3-tower array. And let's see, that's the transmitter there, and I live, where the hell do I live? I live over here. Whoop. There's the transmitter, measure the distance, and I live right here. So we'll measure it the other way. Let's see, measure, get out of here. And let's see, is that it? Nope, screwed it up twice. Can you imagine that? Measure distance from there to there. All right, finally got it. About 5,000 feet, roughly, because I didn't spend a lot of time putting those in the right spot. So anyhow, let's clear that measurement. We'll get rid of the sidebar. So that's the radio station. The 3 towers are pointed towards Harwinton, through center Harwinton and Torrington, okay? So that's what it looks like on Google Maps. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Radio Locator. This is a great site for finding out information about radio stations. And this one's called WSNG. Okay, so let's just tap that in. And we're going to go to WSNG. It's a kilowatt during the day, 500 at night, 3 towers. You know, here's the location, da 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 da, and view daytime coverage. Okay, now you can't really zoom in very well, and if you look closely, here's a fringe area, weak area, and here it is beamed right at my house. This is the highest signal level is recorded right here in this circle. So you could tell that there's a notch going off to Springfield, another one going towards New Haven, another one over towards Hartford. But the main beam, it's designed to serve the northwest corner. And I just happen to be like a tenth of an inch away from this little dot here where the transmitter is. But let's go to a different site here. And I apologize. I made a mistake. Okay. Where did I see that? Anyway, the 8 station that I gave credit to earlier. Oh, here it is here. These maps are not my work. They're the work of radio time travel curator Bill Scott. So Bill's blog, if you want to go there and see it, it's really cool. I looked around. But for right now, we're going to jump to a daytime patterns. So let's jump to daytime. Okay, and you can pick any frequency you want. Here's the one that I'm interested in is the 610. All right, and there's a whole pile of them across the United States, but we don't care about those. The only one I care about really is this one. And there it is, WSNG 610. And if you look at these notches, and I'll zoom way in. Let's see. There's Harwinton. And look at this main lobe, and this is where I am, right here. Kind of sucks. Kind of sucks being right there in the main lobe. But anyhow, you can see there's these very deep notches. If this is the main signal, look how strong that is. These notches are extremely deep. Okay, so I'm gonna bring up Google Earth again. And there's WSNG, and I'm going to show you the location where I was. Now, location number 1 was on Route 72, which is over here. It's called the Terryville Road. There is a tiny little cemetery. Let's see, where is it? Right here. This tiny little cemetery right here. Okay. And that's where I was parked, was right along here on location number 1. So let's just grab a hold of that, measure the distance, and we'll go back to the tower site, which is over here. So how far away is that? What is it? 1.6 miles. So I'm 1.6 miles away from a kilowatt signal. So let me queue up that piece, and we'll be right back. Let you listen to that. And again, I apologize. The audio is terrible, and the video is I messed up. But I think you'll get the point. And you guys using those other sites might even want to try something like this yourself. However, I doubt it. Gosh. Anyway, here goes. I'll shoot you off to that video. Hey everybody, I'm out on the road. Shooting through the windshield. We're gonna drive by this spot, which I have described previously, hopefully. Give you an idea. Here's the 610. Here's the 610 station that we'll be driving by. Hopefully you can see that it's 30 over S9 now. And I'm going to be driving up to one of the notches in the pattern of the antenna. I did this just a few minutes ago, and you can hear the selective fade. So I'm going to try to move along here. Hold that while we drive. It's a little ways up the road here, but just to show you that the station is, 20 or 30 over here. We'll try a couple other spots in a minute. I can't tell what happened here. The screen went black. Okay. Maybe I'll turn the volume up a little bit too. Up here by one of the telephone poles, there's a a notch in the pattern, right? This is directional station, and so they have to beam their energy northeast, northwest. But whenever you do that, you end up with lobes in the pattern. I'll show you these on. Whoops, gotta watch where I'm going. I'll show you these on the map. Okay, let's see. Is this the pole? I think we're coming up to the pole here. Let's turn the volume up a little bit.
Pope John Paul II actually used to do an annual
Watch the
public prayer
signal
of the
drop
Stations
as I
of the
pull
Cross
up here.
on Good Friday at the Roman Colosseum. He would actually walk around the Roman Colosseum doing it. The Stations of the Cross. And originally, when
now,
he was younger Pope, he carried the cross.
You're hearing Selective
He
Fading
carried his cross in his back
on an AM broadcast station.
Which was, I thought, kind of interesting.
I think I'm about
Just days prior to his death in 2005,
less than a mile away. I'll have to look.
Pope John Paul II observed that the Stations of the Cross,
It's a phenomenon that happens when you have such a tight antenna pattern
one of the most powerful prayers
that it nulls the carrier, but the sidebands don't get nulled because the notch is so sharp right at the carrier frequency. So, as I move away from here, you're going to see that signal skyrocket back up, and the selective fading will be gone. What happened? Did I mute something here? Start trying to get used to the Oh, I think I might have shut the. What the hell is that? I guess it's still recording. But listen to that selective fading.
It's something that's there for a reason. Ultimately, take his own life. So, he always said, if anyone wishes
Okay, I'm back again. Sorry about that. I think I lost the recording there. Still getting used to it. Here we go. This is probably better. Here, hold on. So we're about an S5 right now. We're selective fading. We're sitting in the null of WSNG. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find another null on the other side of the antenna. Okay, so here goes. I'm going to move out now. Heading, I'll probably move up to the next telephone pole, which is about 150 feet. So here goes. Here goes nothing. Listen to that audio. And watch the signal level.
Who helped build these pilgrimage sites all over the world because people were not able to get to the actual holy land.
All right.
And
that was site 1, and I'll be back with site 2.
And played a very important part.
Okay, so boy, if that wasn't as interesting enough, we're going to go on to site number 2 here. So site number 2 is, and actually I was wrong. We're the antenna beams this way. We're in this little notch right here. Oh, let's go over to this map and get in close. Okay, there's the big notch off to the northeast there. And let's see if I can get in close enough to see. Here's where we were on Route 72 by the cemetery. And here's Johnny Cake Airport. This is where we're going to be parking this time. So you can see that's where that null is, and we're sitting right inside of it. Okay, so we'll go back to Google Maps. WSNG, we'll grab a measurement, and we'll move up to the airport. Okay, here's the old Johnny Cake Airport. It's now a little bit of kind of a farm, so unfortunately it no longer exists as an airport. Okay, anyway, let's see where we were parked. We were parked right here. In fact, zoom into it. You see that no trespassing sign? That's where I was parked. So this next piece of audio is going to be from this actual location right here. All right, so let me go back around, and we'll grab our let's see, measure distance from there. Hopefully this will work this time. to here. Yep. Okay, so that's about 2.2 miles. Anyway, take a listen to this one.
Dr. Charles.
Okay, everybody, we're at Site 2, which is up by Johnny Cake Airport. Let's turn this up a little bit.
And also the way people
We're generally
eat,
off the back side of the antenna here, but...
SAD, Standard American Diet.
Okay. We're generally off the back side of the antenna, but watch this S9 level here as I pull a couple of feet forward into a really good null. Whoop, going backwards. Here goes.
So supplements can really be a benefit. So I can see how it can relate to your practice then. Oh yeah, definitely. You recommend supplements to just about everybody that walks through your office door?
Most of the supplement program that we use for people is based on objective data. We measure vitamin levels in everybody, and we follow them over time. The guy whose vitamin D level is 23 says, he's a fisherman, so he's out in the sun all day, and he's, I get all the sun I need. You know something? His vitamin D level is inadequate.
So you can hear that selective fading.
At a certain level, vitamin D is cancer protective. At a certain level, vitamin D is cardio protective. We want our patients at that optimum level where they have both of
amazing,
those
actually, that I'll give you a distance on this one as well. How far we are away from the station right now. But watch when I'm going to back up a couple of feet here and you can hear the difference.
One of the things that Metagenics sells are what are called medical foods, which are typically a shake, and Neil can correct me if I'm wrong.
It's about 25 feet.
That provides nutrients
we'll drive
to a person
back into
whose
the
gut
null.
is healing. Okay?
And I'm going to show you these all on the map.
A woman with PMS. There are medical foods for PMS that alter your metabolism of estrogen and actually help. It's not
the carrier is down
right?
so far, and the sideband information isn't.
Put a woman on one of these medical foods for 4 or 5 cycles, she starts to notice that her premenstrual
Here we go again, backing up, out of the null.
So there's lots of different reasons to put people on some different supplements.
All right, so that's it from Site 2, and I'm going to go to one more site and try it. W1VLF, standing by.
Are you specifically addressing?
Hey, a quick update here. I am, I don't know, a quarter of a mile or so from where I'm going to be.
Optimal results by utilizing supplements alongside with them. How often do you
30
get
over
coming in
S9,
and saying,
right? I'm going to move up to my point number 3, and I'll be back.
That inspires you.
All right, guys, we're at a third site here. We're off the back of the antenna now.
And goals fall into 3 categories. Everything you've always wanted to have, do, or be.
Listen to that selective fading.
To have goals. Now, by the time you get to retirement,
I'm going to move along this line here and see if we can get it any better or worse.
We're not spending money on a lot more stuff. But part of your retirement goal might just be having a second home.
Coming
or
out of that null.
downsizing your primary and splitting it into 2 homes.
It
might be buying an RV. It might be buying a boat. That's up to you. So those are part of your have goals in retirement.
Look how the signal is rising.
Your do goals lead to income. Your do goals are, gee, I want to travel more.
This is a null
this
off
is how
the
often
back
I want
side
to travel.
of the
This is
antenna.
where I'd like to go. This is the way in which I'd like to
Pause
travel.
here real quick, turn around, and go back the other way.
It could be if you have children that move.
Okay, guys, I had to put the preamp on because we're in another null off the back of the antenna. Listen to that. So we went through completely around the back of the antenna, and now we're in one of the rear nulls. So I'm going to move now. Still in the null. Getting even better.
Where it truly is.
Okay, moving out of the null. All these locations are less than a mile from a 1 kilowatt transmitter. All right, before people think I'm crazy, I'm going to go back home and try to edit all this junk together. Thanks for watching. I'll be back. Hey guys. Crap, I don't know if you can see that or not. But listen, this is off the normal radio.
30 years experience in the financial services industry. Russ has helped thousands of clients better understand
So can you imagine if you lived, like, say, over there?
If you're interested in learning more about Russ Stone, his business, and how he can help you with your retirement
This is the last
strategy,
time, I promise.
ScrantonFG.com, the retirement income store, where retirees go for
There we
income.
go. So that's about it, guys. I just thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe you could leave some comments down below if you have had similar experiences. Maybe, you know, and the more I think about it, selective fading is not really the proper word for it. It certainly is during propagation, but the fade is just on the carrier and it never changes. So maybe there's another term for it. Anyway, just another one of those odd things. All right, so see this? This is doesn't look like much, right? Looks like the world's smallest wire wound open core loop, but yet another loop video is coming. And I printed up a bunch more stuff. Just a quick heads up. What happened is I got a lot of comments that said, well, maybe in the U.S. you can get those 4-ways, you know, the 4-way divider and make the other style loop that I had, but we can't hear in whatever the different countries were. So this is the format of the new loop that I'm going to make, and here are the spreaders. Same amount, actually a little bit more in turns, and so be able to pop those in, and then the wires won't interfere with anything, you know, with the PVC. So that's coming up, and I'm also going to do put a switch on it to switch from series or parallel sets of coils. So the other thing is, this has got that rotating, rotating piece of PVC pipe that I like. So dimensions and all that junk will be available when I get to that video. Thanks a lot for sticking around. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. I think I'm at 2,600 and something. I'd like to get to 3,000 subscribers someday. So I would really appreciate it. Thanks an awful lot, and I will see you later. This is W1VLF out.